Mm.
Yeah. Keep the beat going, Dane. Keep it going.
This is great for our female audience.
Welcome back to the Until Next Week podcast, Dane. How are you doing?
Samuel,
Yeah.
what are you sipping on, baby?
Oh, baby. You know, you sipping on that Mountain Dew. But
I got Mountain Dew, baby.
I-
back to back to back to back to back
it's a good time.
podcasts. I've got Mountain Dew I'm sipping on. Get you loosey, get you goosey.
Yeah, you're feeling good today. I got a little bit of cherry limeade from Sonic.
I like cherry limeades.
I've had a lot of energy drinks today, so I need
Sure
to go
have.
something a little lighter. But you hear that? That's the fluids that
That's the
Dane
sound
is
of
sipping
freedom,
on.
dang it.
Yep, Mountain Dew. Or would it be Dane it?
Freedom.
So you heard Dane's wonderful intro music, but this just in, we will actually have some.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, this just in. We will have some actual theme music coming soon.
Who's it coming from?
Yeah, it's coming from a local DJ producer from Springfield, Missouri. I'm going blank on his DJ name,
Young Gravy.
but it's not him. We
Oh.
we didn't want him.
Yeah, we don't want Young Gravy on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
pod.
He's a little controversial and strange.
He's just strange, yeah.
Yeah, we don't need to go into that, but yeah, it's one of my K-Life guys, Andrew. Andrew, I know you're listening, but I'm
Shout out
excited.
Andrew, man. He
Yeah.
recognized me at the Kickapoo game the other night.
Because of the podcast,
He
right?
did. He said, I follow your Instagram. You're the guy from the podcast.
Hey, yeah, I was pretty happy when he followed it. So I know you're listening. I think a T-Dog, you might be listening too.
Yeah, shout out T-Dog, man.
Yeah, you guys are killing it. You showed up to our K-Life tournament today, dodgeball that is.
I
Dane,
like dodgeball.
yeah, Dane, you want to talk about that really quick?
It was pretty fun. I got ejected
Mhm.
for hitting like
Oh.
a 3-year-old in the face.
But please
it was-
clarify.
Well, we were playing dodgeball, and I threw it and hit him in the face.
Okay. It was with the dodgeball.
Oh, I see. I was like, what are you saying?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I hit a 3-year-old in the face, so he
No.
ejected me.
No, I did not punch a 3-year-old in the face.
Okay, that's good. See, I left before that happened, so I
Yeah.
need to get the details
No.
cleared up.
I threw a ball left-handed,
Mm-hmm.
and it floated,
Yep.
and it barely hit this kid in the head.
And he went down in tears.
No, he
Because-
didn't even know what happened. He was like, "Oh, shucksy doodles,
You gave
I'm
him a
out."
concussion.
No, he never fell.
Okay.
And then Joe over the microphone goes, "You're gone, Nemo," and ejected me.
And as you remember from our past episodes, Dane is known as Nemo because of his great personality and red hair.
Orange, yeah, my orange just persona,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of racist. But
Wow.
if you want to
Okay.
bleep that out, you can.
I
But yeah, the dodgeball tournament was pretty good. I don't remember who won, but I'm pretty sure my boys got cheated out of it because we defeated the eventual champions.
Yeah?
We were their only loss. We beat them.
But did you guys lose a lot of other games,
We only lost 2 games.
which is why you lost it all? You have to do.
We were 4-2. I don't know how we didn't make it.
What was there another team like 5-1?
The team that won was 5-1. One lost to us,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other team was the same record as us, but they had beaten us, so they had the tiebreaker.
So that's why.
Yeah, which was dumb.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of like you see that in lots of sports, regular season. Like it doesn't really matter.
I'm
It just depends what happens at the end of the season to get those rankings.
I'm pissed off.
I'm gonna have lots of bleeping
I
today.
feel led astray,
Mhm.
run amok,
Mhm.
bamboozled,
Ooh.
hoodwinked,
Yeah.
and just dang near flim-flamed.
Wow. That was aggressive today, Dane.
I almost cursed.
I'm glad you did not curse, but maybe the fans wanted you to curse so I could get some more
What
bleeps.
No, I didn't curse.
Yeah, that's good.
but
I
yeah.
just want to also point out, every time that Dane has been bleeped out, he has not cursed.
That's true. I have not cursed on the podcast.
Mhm. So big
Just so
things.
everybody
He's
knows.
really going through a lot, and
That's
we're,
true.
we're excited where he's going.
My car exploded, man. So if you want to send money to
To the Dane's car fund.
at SamuelSin22 on Venmo.
I don't know why the 22. I mean, if you want to send me money on Venmo,
Is that really your Venmo?
It's at Samuel Sin. If you want to send me
Oh.
money on Venmo, I'll talk about you on the pod.
Yeah,
Promise.
If you send us any amount of money, we'll talk about you on the pod.
Yep. This just in. You send us money on the pod, we'll talk about you. Because then you're an actual sponsor. It's crazy how that
We'll
works.
put you in the sponsors. It'll be
Mhm.
great. But at the dodgeball tournament,
Yes.
though, they were giving kids this new energy drink that's out, and it's all the rage as somebody who's in the business.
Yes. What was that drink?
It's called C4, and it's explosive to your body's energy.
Yeah, usually they recommend for energy drinks that it should be consumed by people like, I don't know, 16 or 18 and up.
At least 18.
And you definitely shouldn't be nursing, which I don't think any of the kids are.
Or pregnant.
Okay.
Is that worse than nursing?
I don't know. I don't really know where I was going with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had all these C4 energy drinks for these little kids.
Yeah, my
don't-
middle schoolers were chugging them, and I was like, bro, y'all better calm down. I don't know why we're giving it to kids.
Yeah, I
anyways."
don't think they're going to be catching balls as easily if they are like literally jittering the whole time.
Okay, I need to mention somebody on the
Yes.
podcast because
Did-
we just got Venmo'd.
Wait, what? Are you listening to this live?
So someone in our live audience right now is listening to the podcast.
Wow, I don't even know. Wait, are they? Is it them?
It's
Were they-
them.
Oh, let's go.
Jake Trust and Art Venmo'd me $1. Said podcast sponsorship / Dane Beesmeyer Fund. You now have $26 in your Venmo account.
Oh, this is great.
You know who didn't Venmo me? Lane Rogers.
Well, yeah, I
That's
mean, we
who
didn't-
Venmo me.
Hey, we actually this is our first like legitimate sponsor that's paid money.
That's true.
We've been talking about them all these episodes.
We're official. We're no longer
we
amateurs.
have made money.
We've made money
We
on the
did it.
podcast.
I want 50 cents of that, Dane.
No, you don't get it. It was
Okay.
sent to me.
Okay, that works. Wow, that was good. I was hoping I would
Oh.
see something on mine.
Wait, hold on. You got Venmo'd again.
Oh, what was it this time?
It's still Jake Trustin, but it says podcast sponsorship again. Let's go.
Wow. This is big time.
I'm keeping those $2.
Wow. Okay. Man, I'm excited.
I'm gonna use it on podcast
This is
equipment.
huge. I wonder if you'll just send $1 like every few minutes going forward.
Yeah, if we just keep talking, maybe we'll send another $1.
Yep. I don't see. Okay,
No,
we can
that's-
get back to that
That's
later.
not it. But I'm gonna use it for podcast supplies.
Okay. What kind of supplies are you
I'm
buying?
talking Mountain Dew,
Oh my
baby.
gosh, I bought you that Mountain Dew.
I know, but I'm gonna get more.
Okay.
If my car
as
ever
long
gets
as I
back
can
to
keep
me.
you energized, I think that's what's most important for our
It gets
podcast.
me loose. It gets me goosey.
But yeah, for the dodgeball tournament, they had some high schoolers groups and then middle school, and they had
Super
Super
K.
K. You know,
4th and 5th grade.
Yeah,
and apparently on down to 3-year-olds.
that is crazy. That is very young.
Could barely walk.
And yet Michael Fuller still nailed him in the face with a ball.
It wasn't hard. It was like a light one that happened to hit him in the face.
Yeah, I mean, he probably deserved it.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if you're gonna be out there, you gotta be having head on swivel. And the kid he didn't have good stance, didn't have good
I saw the
footwork.
video. He went right towards the line, like he was in the kill
Yeah.
zone.
The kid didn't have good footwork. He just seemed lackadaisical on defense. Really, just an eye player, not a team player.
Yeah, I think he has a lot to work with, though. I think next year he could come back strong. I think he hits the gym a little bit. He should be able to
Yeah.
get Michael out pretty easily.
Honestly, they need to redshirt him. And
Yeah,
that might be
I
the
mean, I
best
don't know if
option.
he might have gone down with injury for that, so I think he could be redshirted.
We're waiting for an official apology from Michael Fuller
Mm-hmm.
and his agents.
Michael, if you want to leave us a voice memo with your apology, we can throw that on the next podcast episode.
We'll play it.
I'm pretty sure you can leave a voice memo through our Spotify links. I think there's a little
I don't know.
part. I think that's where you can. Or you can go to anchor.fm for our podcast.
Or just text us, frankly.
Yeah, you can do any of that, and we can get a voice memo, get ready to go.
We're going
And
to put Samuel's phone number out on the line.
we will not do that.
Why not?
I don't want to. I put my Venmo out there. That's as far as I'm going for now.
I'll do it.
Please don't.
No, I won't do it.
But yeah.
So the quick question of the day, and you
Wow,
want
we're
to ask
just
that
done.
one?
We're done with it. I want to go quick with dodgeball. One more thing.
Okay, good.
So I went there and I was going to be with my high school guys, Andrew, who I mentioned earlier, and T-Dog. And then right before, it was like, Joe's like, hey, you're going to be the coach of my team. So I was like, sorry, guys, I have to try to get you out now. I can't be a part of your team. But we did go undefeated. I believe we were 6-0. I got to play. Got some kids out, caught a ball, hit some people. It was a good day.
It was a good day.
Yeah.
I was really upset that you guys with the high schoolers were allowed to actually play
Yeah.
and like play for real.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to play with middle schoolers, and then this just in,
Yep.
K-Life fixed the Super K championship.
No, they wouldn't do that. I wasn't there, so I wouldn't know.
They put us leaders in and told us to lose on purpose.
Okay.
And one of the kids actually came up to me and said, "Bro, start trying for real." And I'm like, I am trying for real. And he goes, "You're not even throwing with the right hand." And I'm like, "Yeah."
Well, I'm just unathletic with both hands.
No,
There we go.
It's because he's seen me throw before.
Okay.
So he knows that, like, I'm being goofy out there. And I'm like, Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's a nice medium where the kids don't want you to go easy on them, but at the same time, they don't want to be nailed in the face.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if we had just made it to where you had to use your non-dominant hand, I mean, we would have won by a landslide.
Yeah.
But maybe if they made it, you have to use your non-dominant hand and you can't catch it. That would have been a good rule for the leaders to have.
Yeah.
And because then it's like, yeah, at least somewhat competitive then. Because there was one time I legitimately got out. He actually hit me in like the leg.
You know, what
So-
if, okay, you said they told you to play easier on them, but what if they told them to play easier on you? Because they knew you guys would lose.
Did I ever tell you I'm a 3-time dodgeball champion?
You just did.
Oh, I'm a 3-time dodgeball champion.
What were the other times?
In high school, we had fundraisers to raise money for various causes.
And that's what this was for K-Life. Hey,
That's-
support the pod, and then you can support K-Life.
That is what that is what we did for K-Life today. And so we raised money for Special Olympics. And so we created dodgeball teams and everything.
Yep.
And my team name was called Balls of Duty. And it was. And we won 3 years in a row.
I don't think that name would have been allowed today.
Yeah, probably not.
At the K-Life tournament.
Yeah, but they allowed it at high school. And
That is-
me and my buddies all won that one. I can't even remember who all was on that team. I remember Spencer Bone was on it. Isaac Rolling was
Oh,
not
yeah,
on
he
it.
sent us some messages. He's a listener of the pod.
Yeah, he wanted me to ask you, the fans, a simple question. Not sure how much discussion we're going to have on this, Samuel, but is there anything better than a good cup of coffee in the morning?
Good C4.
I'm going to say yes. There's 100 things better
And yeah,
than that.
but that's all we're going to go with.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, quick question of the Dane.
Yep.
What is it, Samuel?
Well, a quick question of the Dane is, do aliens exist?
No.
Okay, that was it. So next question.
No. So people have tried to get me hooked into this conversation before, and my official statement is I have no reason to believe aliens exist.
Yeah.
I have not read anything about it, seen anything about it, and it's not mentioned in the Bible.
Yeah.
Therefore, I'm gonna as far as I know, the answer is no. And people I had this conversation with a group of people one day, and they were like, "Really? You don't think there's anything out there in that vast world?" I'm like, "Well, what do you want me to do with that? Like, you want me to just go and explore? You want me to hypothetically think when the history of forever we haven't seen anything like that ever?"
Yeah.
I'm like, so what do you want? You want me to just say yes, just to say yes then at that point? And that's where I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. So my answer for now, subject to change, is no. There are no aliens.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. Actually, I would agree. I don't know. I wouldn't tend to agree. Of course, I do not believe in aliens.
But do we have a special guest who wants to make his take on do aliens
We might.
exist?
Do you want to pull him over here, Dane?
Let's go ahead and pull him over here. Lane Rogers, come on down.
Yeah, thank you, Lane.
Lane
Woo!
Lane.
Second guest on the pod. He was on last week, but it was kind of a whisper.
It was kind of whispered.
So he's coming close now and talking
Lane.
to the mic.
The people want to know, do aliens exist?
Here he's approaching.
Probably.
Oh,
You heard it here
nice.
first. They
Thank
exist.
you. Wow, that was some great content.
Can't argue with those facts.
Yeah, but it's kind of funny because I was listening to, I think it was an old Becoming Something podcast episode, Becoming Something with JP Pacluda, and they were talking about like the same question. He was basically like, no, it's not. That's
Yeah.
not a thing because, again, like it doesn't mention the Bible.
Yeah.
And then it gets tricky because then it's like, well, did Jesus have to go to all of their planets and then die for them there? And like, where's
didn't
the
even think of
redemption?
that.
Yeah, like especially being a Christian, it gets really tricky very quickly. And something else, I was listening again some old episodes of the Becoming Something podcast, and you know how we said we're to be becoming something better?
Yeah.
Not our joke, not even close.
Whose joke is it?
I think it was what is Nate? He's one of the
Oh,
Hilton
yeah.
Camp. Yeah, he made that same joke, and they were
Shout out
like,
to Nate.
"This is so hilarious," but that was like 3 years ago.
Did you hear that Kathy's stepping down?
Yeah, I can't believe
Yeah.
it. She wants to be a good mom to her kids, all 4 of them.
Whatever, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah, because she's preggers again.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't say preggers.
Yeah,
Pregnant.
congrats. We know you're listeners of the pod.
Congrats, Kathy. I know one day you're going to listen to this and be like, hey, those guys are kind of
Yep.
funny.
Yep. And at that point, you'll have at least 5 kids.
Dang it. But speaking of aliens, so if you were hypothetically to get a free ride to outer space and
Okay.
live on Mars,
Yep.
would you do it?
No.
Why?
First of all, to get to Mars is like
It's like 2
somewhere
years,
between
isn't it?
like 6 months to like 12 months, I think, to make it there.
I thought it was 2 years. But
It's a long time.
Yeah, it's-
and then once
it's a
you're
long
there,
time.
it's like, well, what do we do now?
yeah, the
Yeah.
quality of life is nowhere good.
Yeah, I think, again, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts lately, mainly ours, obviously, but some other ones as
Obviously.
well. And I think they were talking with maybe Jake Paul or Logan Paul.
Goated.
Yeah, and they were saying on a podcast how he was like, I just don't want to die here on Earth. Like, I want to go like to Mars or somewhere else. I'm like, that's the most rich person thing you could have ever said.
True. That's so true.
And I guess they both just like started dying laughing. I don't remember where I heard that, but it's like, are you serious? You don't want to die on Earth where nearly every single person has died?
Yeah,
like,
except for
like a few failed maybe like space flights.
In space, yeah.
Like you are so rich.
We're talking like on two hands the number of people who have died in space.
And also people are like, we want to extend our life like in space. Like, do you really want to have that poor quality of life for maybe more time? No guarantee compared to just being here where everybody is.
Yeah, what if you get like a disease in space? You get like a regular disease like I don't know. I don't want to say cancer, but
COVID.
Like, yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah. You get COVID in space.
Oh dang it! We're gonna have our podcast marked. I shouldn't have said that word.
Yeah, you shouldn't have said
That'd be kind of cool if we did get marked.
Bleep it out.
Okay.
Well, if we bleep it out, people won't know what we said.
Yeah, we'll just keep it as it is.
Yeah. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
We'll keep. COVID
take
in there. Take that.
Censorship.
COVID.
Yeah.
I know my rights.
But man.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's like every time I think about living on Mars and being in space, I think of that movie, The Martian.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, he looked like he wasn't having fun.
Yeah.
Growing potatoes and that's completely hypothetical too.
Yeah.
But I assume they did some research on what the conditions are like on the surface of Mars. It didn't look fun.
Yeah.
It looks really cold, really windy, really just like hurricane like all the time. And I'm just like, nah, I'm gonna go to Jupiter.
Yeah, you go to Jupiter and put a ring on it.
Okay, so new question though. Like, would you like take a free ride to just space?
Well, quick, going back to what I just said, is Saturn the one with the rings?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I made a joke, and Jupiter's not the one with the rings, so
It's
that was a
not.
bad joke.
Jupiter's
and
just
it
the
didn't make any
biggest one.
sense. Yeah, it's just huge.
Maybe that's why I didn't get whatever you said.
What were you saying though about what was it?
So would not living on Mars or anything, but would you take like I don't know, like a year-long journey into space? You're just in space.
I wouldn't do that. I would maybe, and that's a big maybe, consider doing like one of those like SpaceX flights if that was somehow offered to me and free, where they let us go up and then go down. I know Dude Perfect did that recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one of the guys, I think it was like Corey maybe or Kobe, he got to go up there with some like other celebrities, and they literally just went up and they're like all floating around, and then they came back down.
Dang it.
And I was like, even then, like it'd be so risky. Like I still would probably not do it, but it would be more intriguing. But I wouldn't do anything else other than that.
I'm leaning towards no, especially because right now I'm like, I don't know. I know like once I start preparing and like getting in that spaceship and stuff, I'm gonna be like, no.
Yeah, you're like, I get kind of queasy on roller coasters.
Yeah, because those things have blown up before.
Yeah.
Not roller coasters, but
I mean, I'm sure roller coasters have too.
I don't know if they've blown up, but they've broken and malfunctioned. But
yeah, it would take a lot
because they're not run on gasoline.
Yeah, it would take a lot for me to go there, and it would
I'd
just
have
be
to be
risky.
paid probably.
So yeah, let us know with a 5-star review on the pod, and a review left on hopefully Apple Podcasts, and let us know, hey, would you go to space for any reason?
We should put that
Let us
as
know.
an Instagram poll.
Yeah, but I would rather you leave us a 5-star review and actually comment on Apple Podcasts
No, Instagram.
and do Instagram at Until Next Week podcast. Give us a follow, and we can kind of go from there, you know?
But we promised the people something last week.
Yeah, so I had to point this out to Dane because I'm sure he probably forgot. Last week he promised, and we don't want to be liars around here.
That's a good point.
He said he would name his top 5 haters of the pod. This week.
Not of me, as many of you know, in usually June or July of a given year, I come out with my top 10 haters of the year.
Yep.
And as we all know, Lindsay Reed is the number one hater in my personal life.
Shout out, Lindsay.
Shout out Lindsay Reed. Lindsay, if you're listening, you already know you're a hater. For instance, one of her Christmas presents this year was a plaque that said 2022 Player Hater of the Year.
Yeah.
That's just something any good brother should give you. Yeah. So, but now we're going to get into our top 5 haters of the podcast. And the first one is going to be number 5.
Number 5.
We're going to go with Cole Biesmeyer. Cole Biesmeyer's a hater on the podcast because I told him that I have a podcast, and you know what he said?
He said, I want to listen right now.
He said, "Who would listen to content produced by you?"
Well, it's great because Dane is not producing it.
That's true.
I'm the
I'm
one
not
doing all
the producer.
producing.
I'm not the
I just
producer.
go to his house. He records it, and then I do everything else.
I provide the house via association.
Yep.
And then I also provide my knowledge of my brain.
Yeah, it helps. It would be very difficult to do a podcast by myself, so that's why I brought Dane on. And he's had some good ideas.
I have ideas.
I don't have a top 5 haters of the pod.
That's
because
true.
This is Dane's list.
Yeah, Samuel's is coming out next week.
Maybe.
Number 4. Number 4 hater of the podcast. We're going to go with Rebecca Sin.
Wait, why?
I'm kidding. She's not a hater.
No.
She's actually giving us ideas and things like
Yes,
that.
thank you, Rebecca. You've gave us several good ideas. Keep them coming, and we'll go from there. But
do.
actually,
Actual number 4
Yes.
is Lane Rogers.
okay, that makes sense.
Why, you might ask? Because he came in earlier and flipped me off and then left while we were recording this
Wait,
podcast.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I know you didn't see it. I saw it.
But he did give us some good insight on the podcast.
He has given us words before.
Okay, I mean, that's good.
And number 3, these are the ones I actually thought of before starting this right now.
Okay.
Number 3,
Mm-hmm.
you all know her.
Oh.
You all may know her.
And
Lindsay Reed.
Wait, you just had her at 5.
She was number 1 of my personal haters. She's number 3 on the podcast haters.
Okay, I got that confused. Okay,
Yeah.
makes sense.
And she's a hater for obvious reasons. Number
Yeah.
1, she has plenty of time to be listening to my podcast. And you know what she hasn't ever asked me about?
Yeah.
The podcast. I sent it to her. She hasn't said nothing about it. She hasn't said, like, Dane, how's your podcast?
Does she know we've received money for doing the podcast?
We have received money for doing
Yeah.
the podcast.
We have legitimate sponsors at this point.
Yeah. But all
I've not
she's
seen a
talking
penny
about-
of it,
Jake
but Dane
Trust and
has.
Art. Love that guy.
Yes.
But all she wants to talk about is, Dane, what's wrong with your car? Dane, are you married yet? And I'm like, calm down. You know you can help with that. And
Yeah.
she goes, why would I want to help with that?
Yeah. And the podcast isn't big enough yet. Like, when
That's
this
true.
gets a little bigger, all the late. I mean, we're supposed to give a date with you. We forgot about that. We could help with this.
Dang it.
Yeah. So again, yes, if no one's reached out, but if you want to go on a date with Dane, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast, and we can get that set up.
I'm about to take it off the table.
Oh,
but
and
also-
Jake is in the room.
Jake's in the room. He
Okay.
doesn't
Hey,
wanna
you're
go.
okay. You're okay. You're not making that big of a noise.
But also, number 2.
Yes. You just said number 2 was Lindsay.
Lindsay was number 3.
Oh, this is confusing.
What do you mean? I said number 3. Lindsay's
Okay.
the number 3.
Okay, it's just been so many. Who's number 2?
Wait, there's only 5.
Yeah, I'm bad at remembering.
Number 2.
Yes.
Is, I believe we've mentioned her before on this podcast, Bella Gerteaser.
Oh, snap. Yeah, and she doesn't know because she's
do-
waiting until next week to
doesn't
listen
know
to our
because she
pod.
doesn't listen. She says she's waiting until next week to listen to it, and then she doesn't listen to it, and then tells all the other people she's going to wait until next week.
Man.
And you know what? I bet her boyfriend's not even listening to it either.
Yeah, we don't need to
Bob.
mention his name.
Bob's a great guy though. Like, he's probably honestly not a hater of the pod. He's somebody who, like, if he had the time or the ability, he'd probably listen to it. But
Yeah.
you know him. He's giving haircuts.
Yeah.
You should go to Bob for haircuts.
That's a good idea.
It
I
is
kind
a
of
good
thought about
idea.
it briefly, but I feel like I don't know him well enough yet.
You're right. I'll tell him that
Yep.
you want to cut his hair.
I want to cut his hair?
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, Samuel he really wants to cut your hair. It's like, what?
dang it. I don't even know why I was saying that. But number 1,
Number uno.
we're down to our number 1 hater of the podcast.
Okay,
And
before Dane says this, make sure to just leave a 5-star review and let us know who you think the number 1 hater of the pod is. And you'll find out right now by Dane.
And this is brought to you by BK. Have it your way. Burger King.
Burger, double,
Whopper,
double, triple,
triple,
whopper,
Whopper,
double,
Whopper,
burger,
Whopper,
burger, triples. Okay.
But so number 1 hater of the podcast, she asked me tonight while we were while a group of us was all out at dinner. She said, "Am I gonna be mentioned on the podcast?" I said, "You're gonna have to listen to find out."
Okay.
Because she listens every week, but she listens, but quote says she fast forwards through the boring parts.
Okay. I mean, that's still better than most of the females who are not listening to our pod.
Well, we're up in that department.
Yep.
But the number 1 hater is Abigail Palmer.
Oh, my word. Abby.
Abby.
What are you? Why? Why
Now,
do you hate it? You honestly, you might not hear any of this. You might be skipping through.
A brief history of mine and Abby's frenemy-ship.
We used to be neighbors.
You and Abby did?
Yeah.
You told me that, actually.
Yep, I did.
Yeah. Yeah, but so Abby and I, we met at K-Life, and then I called her Abigail, and she was all mad about that.
Well, yeah, her name's Abby.
I know, but her full name is Abigail.
Okay.
And she got mad about it, and I was like, "Don't call me that. Only my mom calls me that when I'm in trouble." And then
Was she in trouble?
I don't with
When
me.
you- when you said her name?
No.
Okay, that's good.
I mean, I don't know. I do that to be obnoxious, anyways. But yeah, and then we became frenemies, and now we're kind of regular, just friends.
Yeah.
But she,
well, you went to dinner.
we both did not go individually.
Okay.
But we went as a group. Yes.
Wait, yeah, so you didn't go individually, so that means you went together.
Yes. But we
With,
went
there was other people there
with
too.
other people,
Yep,
yeah.
Other K-Life leaders.
Yeah.
Yes, we know.
and and she even said this. That's why how I know I can say this.
Okay.
She gives off middle child vibes because she is a middle child.
I'm a middle child.
You give off middle child vibes too.
Okay.
I have oldest child vibes because I am an oldest child.
Yeah.
And so that's just how it is. And in light of the new top 5 haters list,
Okay, yep.
we need to print a full retraction.
Dane, I really don't want to go through this. Like, we don't want to keep
know.
having retractions. First, I retract my statements on Billie Eilish,
Yeah.
which, again, I shouldn't have said in the first place. But what are we doing this time?
This is about as bad as when you endorsed Billie Eilish on this podcast.
Man.
I claimed last week that Mia was a hater.
Yeah, you actually said
And
you hate her.
I don't hate Mia, but
Yeah.
Mia's a wonderful person.
Yep.
And she's not a hater.
Mhm.
And in fact, I know she listened to it this week. She listened to the podcast on her way back to Branson.
And also,
back
just really
to
quick,
Branson.
this podcast is a perfect listening time. So if you drive from Springfield to Branson, very niche. But if
Yeah.
you do, great podcast to listen to. But keep going, Dane.
If you're in the city, a little less perfect. However, break it up into 2 parts. Like you don't
Yeah.
have to listen to it all at once.
Yeah, it's a podcast. You can play
Yeah.
pause.
It's kind of like I listen to a podcast about sports and stuff. It's like 2 hours long.
Yeah.
And I break it up like into several different car trips.
Yeah, it's
So,
crazy.
Yeah. And so, plus we come out with this once a week. So it's like, just take 2 of your driving trips and
Yep.
just listen to it.
Yeah. Okay.
And
keep
so,
going.
Yeah. So Mia, not a hater. She's actually a wonderful person, phenomenal cook, and she's our fearless women's director of K-Life. And emphasize fearless, except for spiders. She might be afraid of spiders. By might, I mean I've never talked to her about it before.
That's so random.
But I assume she's afraid of
Okay.
spiders.
Well,
Other than that,
congratulations on not being the top 5 haters of the pod because you're not a hater of the pod.
That's right. No hate ship from Mia. Honorable mention of a hater is my father because I sent it to him. He said he listened to it partly, then said he didn't have time for that, and then went back to work.
But didn't he say I had a good radio voice?
No,
That was not him?
that was somebody else.
I thought you said it was your dad.
It wasn't my dad.
Oh.
Somebody else's dad. It
Oh, well, I mean, as long as it's a dad still, that's all that
was
matters.
my ex-girlfriend's dad.
Oh, we discussed this. Okay. And topic number 2.
Topic number 2. So this past week, we always give you like the highlights of what happened in the sports world.
Of course.
Because Samuel and I are both big sports guys.
We're a current
sporting.
events podcast.
We are, well, kind of.
Yeah.
Everything's mostly current. LeBron passed Kareem on the all-time scoring title.
For those who do not know sports, LeBron James is a basketball player, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was also a basketball player. They
In the
both put
70s and 80s.
balls through hoops and get lots of points for it.
Kareem played in the 90s, like early 90s.
I think he, I was going to say graduated. He retired, I think, late 80s.
Yeah, like 89.
Or like mid, or no, I think it might have been mid 80s.
I
Because
think
he
it was
broke
late
the
80s.
scoring record actually in the early 70s, which actually means, I've said actually a lot, dang it, he actually got the scoring record and retired at like late 70s.
No.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he retired in the late 80s because he won 5 championships with the Lakers.
Yeah, but they've
only
been
we
good
had
for a
the
very long time.
If only we had the internet to look this up.
Yeah,
I just need my computer to work. But
yeah, it's okay. I'm looking it up.
I'll just
keep
talking about
keep
it.
talking.
So LeBron, he, is the biggest crybaby of them all, and he gets up there and shoots the ball and everything and scores. And he scored a lot of points.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: the Lakers end up losing that game where he breaks the record.
Yeah.
and losing it to the sorry Thunder. And the whole time when he broke the record, his star teammate Anthony Davis didn't stand up and celebrate with him at all. And then also Russell Westbrook score the same number of points. Well, not same, but relatively same number of points that he did
Yep.
during that game.
And then he got traded the next day.
He got in a fight with the coach and then was traded the next day.
I mean, everybody knew he was going to get traded soon, so I think that could have been part of it. He probably had heard stuff.
And then one of his teammates called him a vampire in the locker room.
Russell Westbrook?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that.
And I'm just like, what's going on with the Lakers?
Mm-hmm.
Because LeBron supposedly is this great player, but everywhere he goes, he blows up like the franchise.
Yeah. Well, it also is because when he went to the Lakers, especially, they had a crap B team. It was very bad.
And he demanded that they trade everybody for Anthony Davis, all their picks, all their like good up and coming players.
They did win the NBA championship.
Yeah, they won the Mickey Mouse tournament.
Yeah, it still counts though.
Yeah, I
if,
know.
if it was your team who won that, you would completely embrace it.
Doesn't matter. None of my teams in 2021. So
Yeah. It was 2020.
yeah, 2020.
Yeah, you said 2021.
Dang it. You know what I meant.
Yeah. Also, I looked. Kareem actually did retire in the late 80s. It was 1989.
I said 89.
Yeah, I was way off there, so sorry about that. Good thing we have the internet. It's pretty cool.
And Dane.
But yeah, he passed Kareem's all-time scoring record. Everybody knew it was going to happen for a while now. He's probably going to end up beating it by like 7,000 points by the time it's all done because the record was 38,000. LeBron is getting better as he ages, and he'll likely have 45,000 plus points by the end of it. Fact check me in a few years.
Speaking of notable records, I have a notable record I want to tell you.
Yeah, what's your notable record, Dane?
So, once upon a time, what was it called?
Disneyland.
No.
Sorry, that was the first thing that came to mind.
TGI
You said Mickey Mouse earlier. It's a subconscious thought.
True. TGI Fridays had this thing called unlimited appetizers for $10.99.
Whew.
And
Why would you ever leave?
I didn't.
Okay.
Me and my buddies went there twice. Once in Texas, once here in Springfield, Missouri. And you can switch up the appetizers too. And I went there, and I got 11 appetizers. And
Oh boy, Dane.
the next time I got 12 appetizers.
He just kept going.
And they bring you the bill of what it would have been at the end of it. I would have spent $150 on those appetizers, but I paid $10.99.
I wonder if the reason they do that is to make you think, hey, I should give a bigger tip to the waitress or waiter because it's like, well, $150, I guess I have to give them like a $20 tip.
I tipped based off of $10,
Which is what you should do.
I tipped like $3 or $4.
I tipped 3 or 4%.
Yeah, basically.
That's 3 or 4% is like 40 cents.
Oh no, I didn't do
Yeah.
that. But
$4 is 40%.
that was back when I was like 19 and broke and like,
And had a working car.
well, yeah, I had a working car, same car that I have now. But I was like, they don't need all this money. Why would I do all this anyways? Like, why am I tipping someone to bring me water?
Yeah.
But now I'm like, okay, I'll tip them a little more. I understand they don't get paid as much. However, one of my hot box topic issues
Hotbox.
is these places where you go and order something and then they ask for a tip at the end, like Firehouse Subs. Like you go, you pay, and they're like, how much do you want to tip? I want to tip $0.
Yeah. It's like, hey, do you want to donate to these kids that really need it? Like, no, I'm good. I'll keep my 12 cents.
That too. Not that. But it's like, I'm trying to think of a specific place. It's like,
You see it mostly at coffee shops.
yeah.
And it's so annoying because I'm paying I'm not doing it very often, but it's like
Yeah.
$5 for a coffee or more. And then all you're doing is order it from them. And then it's like, hey, you want a tip? And they're looking at you the whole time.
Yeah.
And I'm
Answer's
just
no.
like, no, I don't want to tip you. I'll put 0 because you're literally just doing your normal job.
Or I'll press custom amount and I'll type in 0.00.
I wonder if you put custom amount and put like negative point, like 50.
That'd be funny.
Will you get 50 cents back?
I mean, I doubt it.
That would
But
be a cool thing, though.
here's the rule. I think this should be the rule.
Yeah.
If they're not bringing you water and silverware and things like that, then I'm not tipping you.
Yeah.
If you don't actually wait on me, then I'm not tipping you. Like, that's just the way it is. And I'm tired of people trying to get through it because, God, I mean, just imagine how many people will just fall for this. I'll just do 15%.
Yeah. That make
you
you
pay
feel
an extra
bad.
$2 every time.
It's
Yeah, like-
it's a messed up system, and it's really ever since smartphones came into existence for the most part, because
Yeah.
then they started doing all the iPads, and it's like, well, people are paying with credit cards. Hey, let's see how much money we can get out of them. And a lot of people just kind of fall under pressure, and it's like, okay, I'll give 20%.
Yeah.
We're here to tell you, you
Don't
do
do
not need a tip at a coffee shop where you're going up to there to order just a normal item, and then they're like, hey, here's your name, pick up your coffee.
Or worse.
You don't need a tip.
there's several places in town where I'll like order online and pick up, and then they're like, "How much do you want to tip?" 0. I'm picking it up from you. Like, what do you mean? You provided me no service other than you made the food.
Yeah, that's the only one. That's another one where I do tend to agree with you. I think I've heard some arguments though. It's like, well, you're going to pick it up, and people are still doing basic. They have to like box it up for you, which they typically wouldn't have to do.
Congratulations.
And I mean, I guess there's like a better argument there than for a coffee shop. I still don't do that.
There's actually not, because instead of putting it on a plate, you're putting it in a box instead.
Yeah, but they still
That's the
are
same
doing
thing.
something. But again, it's just pretty much their job, and I don't tip in that scenario. I'm sure some of you listeners are probably getting really mad at us right now, and just leave us a 5-star review and let us know why you're mad at us.
Well, and also we're relieving the pressure because we're not even in the restaurant, so you're not actually waiting on us. We're not holding up a table of yours either.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why you shouldn't do it, because you're getting business by us not being there.
Yeah,
We're not taking up a table.
Yeah, it's a weird system and weird world we live in.
We'll
but-
get off this soapbox now.
Yeah.
But in other news, the Super Bowl was yesterday.
And some crazy stuff happened, which is a good. What are you doing, Dane? And some crazy stuff happened, which is why we're going to make. I guess we're going to tell you what happened, even though we're recording before the Super Bowl. And
After the Super Bowl.
What?
You said before the Super Bowl.
what are you talking about?
You said we're recording before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We're recording after the Super Bowl.
Oh, we're recording after the Super Bowl.
Right, because we already know what happened.
Yeah, obviously.
That was
Did
crazy.
you see all those streakers on the field?
That was
And they
just
usually
ridiculous.
turn the cameras away, but this time they zoomed in.
I really didn't like it.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was-
there's several animals that were with me that
Yep.
started crying.
Yeah,
There
it was
a puppy.
that honestly probably traumatized multiple people. And like Patrick Mahomes, he broke both his legs.
That was unfortunate.
Yeah, but they still won.
They still won.
Yeah.
Chad Henne came in with a performance of a lifetime, and now there's rumors that they're going to trade Patrick Mahomes and go forward with
I mean, that's
37.
I mean, he has 2 broken legs. Like, how well can he play in the future?
Well, they want to go forward with 37-year-old Chad Henne as their franchise quarterback.
I really can't believe it like that happened. And like Jalen Hurts, like he had a heck of a game.
Could you believe that he was the special halftime guest as well?
I was surprised. Like
he
he
came out and
threw
did
for
music.
4 touchdowns in the first half, which
Yeah.
that's why I'm surprised they didn't win. But then he went as the special guest.
Yeah, he was
He
a
did
pop
the same
star.
thing that 50 Cent did last year. He was like kind of fell down from the ceiling and started singing.
Yeah, which again, it was still trippy, just as trippy as last year. But
And yeah, 50 Cent was there too. I don't know why he was there back-to-back years. That made
Yeah.
no sense.
I can't believe the end of the game ended 42 to 31.
Yeah, 31.
That was crazy.
Yeah, because he had 4 touchdowns in the first half, which we mentioned, and
Yeah.
then there was the field goal.
Yeah, and there was a field goal, and then they got shut down.
Yeah, like
Second half was the field goal, though. Yeah, that's all they had in the second half. Chiefs defense really stepped it up. They were down 21 to 31 at half.
Yeah.
and they just went out there,
Well,
kept running the ball.
And my favorite Super Bowl commercial was Andy Reid on that Burger King commercial.
Yeah,
and he was just
obviously.
like burger, chicken,
In double, Whopper,
chicken,
Whopper,
triples.
Whopper, Whopper.
Yeah, and he just was so happy. And so during the whole game, like he was eating Burger King.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of Burger King.
Yeah, I mean
he is the Burger
Yeah,
King.
he had the crown on. Like the mascot,
he
they
did.
actually brought the Burger King mascot to be by him, and I think he called a couple of the plays.
Oh man, that was crazy. Can you believe Travis Kelce won MVP?
Yeah. Well, no, actually, it was dual MVPs, wasn't it? They gave it to him and his mom.
Co-MVPs.
Yeah.
Him and his mom for producing athletic children.
And the craziest thing was they interviewed his mom. He's like, "Yeah, this is the happiest I've been in my life. Like, this is my favorite son." And Jason was there watching. Jason Kelsey,
It was
who was on the
kind of-
losing
it
team.
was really uncomfortable for all the audience and all the people in the stadium.
But I mean, I think most of us did agree with her there, even though Jason Kelsey did come out with the Christmas album.
Christmas album.
They I think the defensive or offensive line for the Eagles released a full-on Christmas album back in December. They're pretty good. Like it was kind of crazy.
Well, I didn't listen to that because I despise the Eagles and I despise the Chiefs.
Yeah, which is good. Why the Chiefs won?
I drank copious amounts of Mountain Dew. I know how everybody's doing. And the over-under in Vegas was 3.5 Mountain Dews.
Yeah.
I'm here to say it was 4.5 Mountain
4.5
Dews.
Mountain
I
Dews,
drank
man.
4.5
That's crazy.
before I passed out with a Mountain Dew drunkenness.
But yeah, I was just again. I know we were off on our score predictions because originally I was
Yeah.
like 31-28. You were like 34-27,
I
and like
was.
what do you say? It was 42-31, wasn't that right?
42-31.
Yeah, and like Chad Henne, we're excited to see what you do in the future. But yeah, Patrick Mahomes is done.
He's done. He's done. He's going to go to the Jets.
And that means he is done.
That means he's done. Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers, he showed up out of his 4-day darkness retreat. Like, he didn't know where he was, but he was at the Super Bowl.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
The 4-day darkness retreat.
Yeah, it was actually in the Super Bowl like locker room. So they got there like, hey, what are you doing here, Aaron?
Yeah, they're like, Aaron, it's not dark here.
And he was very confused, but it's all good now.
He passed out shrooms to all the players. I don't know if you'll bleep that out or not.
No,
But
I'll keep the shrooms in there.
yeah, I'm stating a fact. He does shrooms.
Yeah, I mean, we're just saying what happened during the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he did shrooms during the Super Bowl, which is crazy. Also, Pat McAfee's being sued by Aaron Rodgers. Not Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre.
Yeah, and then he was like, bring it. Like, he was like, I don't care. Like, you literally did so much horrible stuff.
Yeah, he stole from poor people, but then Pat McAfee's like, yeah, we said all these things about you, and he's like, but there's one thing you forgot about, Brett, and that's the word allegedly.
Allegedly.
Because we said you allegedly did all of these things, and therefore you can't prove any of it because you were allegedly accused of these things.
Man.
And so
it's been
that
a
was
crazy
really
time
funny.
in the sports world.
Pat McAfee's just a crazy man,
Yeah.
and when he's president, it's gonna be crazy.
I mean, yeah. I think he's running the next. Well, that was the crazy. I forgot. During the half, he was also on
he
the guest during the
announced
halftime Super Bowl performance, and he
Right.
announced his presidency,
His campaign.
presidential run
His
campaign.
presidential campaign.
That's what I was trying to say.
Which is, we can't repeat his slogan because it was so profane. But
I mean, we could, but it would be most of the bleeps that we
Yeah.
usually use for Dane, but they would be needed.
it would be, I bleep, you bleep, the world bleep.
Bleep.
Bleep, bleep.
Bleep, bleep, bleep.
But, I don't know. You got any quick takes you want to make before we announce our sponsors?
You know, okay, actually, I do remember one thing, and it's that the quick takes are, we are just taking over the United States with this podcast.
Might as well.
Yeah, we've been looking. We are now in 19 different states, and surprisingly, so we record this in Missouri. We talk to
Sure.
most people in Missouri. Missouri is not a majority. I mean, it's a majority, but it's not over 50% of our listeners anymore.
Yeah.
I looked; it was 48% of our listeners because for some reason, people in Minnesota and Wisconsin and Indiana and like
Minnesota.
16 other states are all listening, and DC.
And DC.
So if you are listening up there and you want to leave us a 5-star review, do that on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. You can leave us a voice memo or just send us a direct message on the Until Next Week Podcast Instagram. And yeah, we can just talk about you some more. This is so cool.
And we have a new country.
Yep. Netherlands.
Bonjour.
Is that how they speak in the Netherlands?
Bonjour.
I don't know, but Dane knows some things.
Don't be offended.
Yeah, it's okay. But yeah, now we're in 4 countries. I think for the most part, people are just randomly clicking and getting off, except
Except.
Germany.
Bonjour.
We've talked about in the past. I think you're listening more than once. And if you're listening now,
Send us anything and we'll
please-
post it.
Yeah, literally anything. Like, I don't care. Just send us anything. Or
As
you
long
can,
as it's appropriate.
yeah, or leave us like a voice memo. You can do that again, like on, I think some of the episodes we have an option where you can, or you can go to our anchor.fm
Yeah.
at Until Next Week podcast, like webpage, or just on our Instagram. Leave us something because we want to know if there's a legitimate German listening. That's pretty
just
cool.
pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, especially like multiple times. So please tell us something, leave us something, make up something. We just need you on here. This is cool.
But, so you ready for our sponsors of the week?
Yeah, did you have any other quick takes, or are you just good for sponsors?
My quick take
Okay, yeah, you do.
is that, let me think here. Blue's the best color.
Blue.
Blue. I'm going to get a big car because I'm tired of being a small person in a little,
Yep.
what are they? What are those? What are
Car.
those?
It's called a
Well,
car.
it's a car, but like the type of car. Because like
Yeah,
there's
this is-
SUVs, there's
yep,
trucks.
Yep.
What's a little town car called?
I don't know, a little town car.
Sedan.
Sedan.
Sedans.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm tired of driving a sedan.
Drive the
So,
big boy vehicle.
I'm going to get an SUV.
Mm-hmm.
I need it, or truck if the fans come through.
Yeah, you know who you are.
know who you are.
Hey, Germany, you might be like the prime chancellor. I don't know. Is that a thing in Germany? If you are, send us a German car, or just give us money for a U.S. car.
I think Germany does have a chancellor.
Okay,
Or is it a prime minister?
I don't know.
I think it's chancellor.
It's one of them.
I think it's chancellor.
For our German listener, please let us know
Yeah,
if it's a
tell us that.
chancellor or prime minister, and then tell us some other just fun stuff.
and we'll tell you everything that's great about America.
Yeah, it's not a-
starting with guns.
We talked about gun control on an earlier podcast, sort of, and this will be the extent of our gun control talk now.
Yeah. That's all.
But going into our sponsors of the week.
Our sponsor, number one,
Guess
first
who it is?
foremost, number one in your heart, number one in the programs, Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
Yeah, honestly, our sponsor list would not be the same without Jesus. Again,
Jesus. We love that guy.
yeah, seriously though, again, we always say it kind of in a jokey manner, but we are serious. We do love Jesus.
The Holy Spirit convicts you.
And then there's Dane talking, but yeah,
I love Jesus.
we would not be here without you. We would not be doing this podcast. We would not be friends or anything else. So this is a pretty cool experience.
Jake Trust and Art is number 2.
Who's actually a real sponsor?
He's
now.
a real
He
sponsor.
gave some money to Dane.
He gave a life-changing amount of money to Dane.
I mean, that was big for you.
It was. I need those $2 because I couldn't afford to get this Mountain Dew mainly because my car is broken and I could not drive to a place to get
Yeah.
Mountain Dew. But the $2 would have helped to purchase that Mountain Dew.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy stuff. So we're happy to have him. Also, we originally gave out like some of his paintings and pictures earlier on in the pod, but now we might just start giving away like random items of his, and just don't tell him, and he'll have to listen to the podcast to find out what we've taken.
If you would like a free bed
Or left sock,
or a referee jersey,
a mitten,
what else? Baseball cards,
his paintbrushes,
a King Griffey Jr. jersey,
his contacts,
his hair products.
his oh,
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say his girlfriend, who's his
No,
fiance.
it's his fiance Samuel, and she's off limits.
I know, but it was
Are you
kind
gonna
of funny.
cut? Are you gonna cut this part out?
No, I'm gonna keep it.
Oh, okay, perfect. I was gonna say something crazy, but I guess I'm not going
Yeah,
to.
that was good.
If you want his, what else does he have? His baking soda. If
Yeah.
you want some of his microwavable meals,
Really, just let us know what you want of his, and we can find it.
yeah. If you want his Call of Duty, his
Social security number. We'll give you one digit at a time, and then you have to put them together and figure out what the combination is.
It's 7.
7.
7. Just 7.
Okay, it's just sevens.
It's the same as my social security.
Okay.
number, all 7s.
Yep, and mine as well. Man,
Yours is all
crazy.
7s too. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
We're the same person.
Yeah, we are.
And our third sponsor, which is going to be Jason Kelsey's mother.
I was really confused because
yeah, we didn't update that part.
Yeah, I didn't update that. But yeah, why not Travis Kelsey's mother?
Well, because his name doesn't start with a J. That's
Okay.
why.
That makes more sense because you're trying to go for the J thing. I said it didn't really matter.
Well, I don't want to. So fans, while you're listening, I don't want to box myself into
we gotta
that.
get honest.
Yeah, I don't want to box myself into just doing the J's
Mm-hmm.
because like it would be cool to do J's all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna run out of J's to like
Mhm.
do, and I'm thinking of some right now, but like it's hard, man. Like
Yeah.
coming up with the same letter of the same thing every week.
It's tough making a podcast. And
Whopper,
they-
Whopper, Whopper, Junior Bacon Whopper.
And yeah, it's just tough making a podcast. So I'm glad you got vulnerable there, the Dane, and let us know what you go through.
Well, you know, I just need to say something to the people.
Yeah, you sound like this.
I'm gonna end it the same way I started. it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You hear that? There was no ice because it's melted over the length of this podcast. But that's Mountain Dew, baby.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you want to stay fresh, stay caffeinated.
Mhm.
I'm out.
Yeah, so those are our sponsors of the week. And yeah, I think that's the end of our podcast. Look forward to talking to you more next week. And yeah, do you have any other final thoughts, Dane? Anything?
Rihanna sucks.
I don't want to bleep that out because it'll sound worse. But we'll keep it in there because Dane's just off the rails.
That's true. If you were to bleep that out, they'd be
It
like,
would sound.
"Wait, what did he say?" Even if you bleep out the whole thing,
Yeah, it would just be bad.
it would be worse than what it actually
Oh
was.
man,
So
yeah. So
you have to keep it.
thanks for listening to the Out Until Next Week podcast, where we bleep unnecessary content and keep the stuff that is need to be bleeped.
Your favorite redheaded podcast.
Yep.
All right. Love y'all.
Love you.
Bye.
Peace.